We've talked lots on this channel about different crazes or mass hysteria that have occurred over the internet. In fact, it's probably why I started this channel, because I love talking about cases of internet mass hysteria or just mass hysteria in general. But who knew that I would be covering a religious psychosis topic in the year of 2025? Not me, but here we are. That's right, in early September, many Christians, mostly American, were absolutely convinced that the rapture was coming. And surprise! It didn't. We're in October. Please consult the graph, nothing ever happens. Now, I should probably start off this video by saying that I am not religious in any way, shape or form. I would probably consider myself as an atheist, I guess. I mean, you don't say. However, if you are a religious person, a Christian, a Muslim, a Jewish person, anything, I don't care. I have no problem with that. If your belief helps you sleep and live your life a little bit easier, because life is and if you believing in something helps you get out of bed in the morning, be my guest. That is great, and I'm happy for you. So by saying that, in this video, I am not poking fun at anyone that is religious. I am only poking fun at the Americans that sort of took it too far and tried to rub people's noses in the fact that they were going to go to heaven when, surprise, surprise, they didn't. I'm more poking fun at the scaremongers and the fact that people tried to be arrogant about the fact that they was religious and they're better than people. That's what I don't like. But if you believe in a God and you are a good person, that's absolutely fine. Be my friend, you know? That's great. But in saying that, if this is a video you kind of don't want to watch or, don't want to hear, then that's absolutely fine. Click off this video. But without further ado, let's talk about the rapture. Woohoo! Yay! Rapture! So first of all, I feel like we need to explain what a rapture is. What is going on here? Because if you were like me, I'd heard about it and kind of vaguely knew what it was, but also didn't really get it, so I did a little bit of research. The word rapture usually refers to a religious belief, most commonly in evangelical Christians. It's the idea that the end of times is coming. And this usually occurs just before a period of tribulation and suffering on earth. Now, we all know what happened in September, right? And we kind of all know that we kind of know what group of people were egging this on, don't we? Do I need to say they all wear red hats? Do I need to say anything else? Probably not. But the belief says that Jesus will return down to earth and take all of the true believers with him back home or to heaven. But Jesus will only choose the ones that are his faithful servants. So if you're not a true Christian, you will not be going to heaven. And for you to probably, identify yourself as a true Christian is probably anti-Christian in a way. Am I right? That sounds very arrogant, and I thought Christians were supposed to be nice. So the event is often imagined as being instantaneous, dramatic, that people will just vanish, disappear, leaving empty cars, just vanish in a puff of smoke. And the world will be thrown into absolute chaos because so many of the true Christians have disappeared. Which I just think it's so funny that Christians truly believe that their religion is the one and only. They forget that there are other gods that people believe in, but theirs is the one true God. I don't know, I just think it's not my cup of tea. And that's alright. If it's yours, that's okay. And you know what? As I was researching this, have any of you ever read the Gone series? This is a little bit niche, but if any of you have ever read the Gone books, they're my favourite book series, and this is genuinely what happens in the beginning of the stories. Everyone disappears. A little bit like a rapture. That's the only way I can explain it. But as I was researching, the concept of the rapture doesn't actually get mentioned in the Bible with the word rapture. It's actually come from interpretations of a certain passage in the Bible, so the interpretations could be completely wrong. The term rapture is from the term in Latin rapturo, and the translation of the Greek word harpazo, which means to seize or to snatch away. Hence, the rapture, you get snatched. But beliefs about the timing and the reasoning for the rapture vary a lot amongst different Christians who actually accept the idea of the rapture coming, which isn't all of them, might I add. For believers, the rapture is seen as both a reward and an act of protection. It's also thought to mark the beginning of the end of times, when God's final plan for the world will unfold. Another thing that I don't understand about Christianity is why an all-loving God would make his people suffer in that way. The rapture appeals to many because deep down it answers fears about death. And I think we as humans, we fear death. And you know what? we shouldn't. We should not fear death. Death is something natural. It can be beautiful. It can be heartbreaking. It can be all of these things. But at some point in our lives, we will all experience it. So I feel like we shouldn't fear it because it's inevitable. You know, we should be grateful for like the time that we had and the time we spend and the life that we live. Of course it's sad and it still has every right to be sad, you know, losing family members and you losing pets, it's awful, it's horrendous, but in a way it can be beautiful. And with death, you just have to sort of change your mindset, I guess. And I understand that people fear the unknown, especially people that turn to religion for that comfort. So I do understand why people want to believe in the rapture, because it promises escape and safety and this comfort that you'll be reunited with all the people you've lost. And that is beautiful. There's no denying that. That sounds great. You know, it's almost described as this cosmic evacuation plan before the world goes to shit, basically. And as, you know, the way things are at the moment, it's not looking great. And I understand that people, you know, need that escape. And there's nothing wrong with that. Throughout history, many people have tried to set a date for the rapture, but as we know, it's never happened. And if it has, Jesus hates us all, right? Going back through ancient history, some people thought that it would happen in the year 1000, others in 1844, and once in 2011, but of course, it didn't happen. It's kind of led to a little bit of skepticism that maybe we're going to be all right. You know, maybe we're not going to be snatched away. I'm just going to call it the snatching from now on, actually. But many pastors and theorists, you know, say that no one knows the date. You can't guess the date. When it happens, it'll just happen. But with many other pastors believing that there isn't going to be a rapture. You don't have to worry about it because it's not even in the Bible. But then again, many things are not in the Bible and people still, you know, preach them, so who am I to say anything about that? I'm not religious. But still, rapture culture often spikes during time of global unrest, and I feel like the year 2025 meets all of the criteria for that, right? And it feels like that this is the sign of the prophecy to be fulfilled, and this all kind of, you know, came about when a certain someone perished in September. And I feel like a lot of MAGA people were very, you know, vocal that this was the end, you know, freedom, all of this, it's all going wrong, freedom of speech, our rights are being infringed upon, and then this kind of came about. And if that's not related, then I take that back, but like, now, in 2025, the internet and mostly American, and I will state it is mostly American, I researched a lot for this video and I have not yet seen a British Christian talk about this. It's all American. Anyway, they were absolutely losing their minds because they had become convinced that the rapture was going to happen on the 23rd to the 24th of September. The prediction actually traces back to a South African man named Joshua Makalé, or Malekle. I am so sorry if I've butchered that name. I'm terrible with names. And this, I don't know who he is. I don't know if he was a priest or a preacher or whatever, but he claimed that he had a divine vision in which Jesus told him especially for some reason, not the Pope or like actual people that are in the church, just this random guy, that these were the dates when the believers were going to be, quote, taken up or snatched. The idea spread under the TikTok hashtag Rapture Talk, as it always does. Why is it whenever something happens, everyone's like, Rapture Talk, or, I don't know, Summit Talk, Book Talk, Drink Talk, like, with many users posting about how to prepare, what to expect, what to do if they get left behind, or mocking the prediction. But because people were posting content about it, it was obviously blowing up. It went very, very viral. Now, being completely honest, I didn't see anything about it on my feed until people were telling me about it in my DMs. So I was like, what on earth is going on? Then I researched it and I was like, oh, this is a whole thing. And I don't know if that's because I'm from the UK and I haven't seen any UK influencers or people talking about it, or if I'm just really that far away from religion TikTok. But people were absolutely losing their minds about this, genuinely believing that this was going to happen.
Okay, I'm literally about to crash out. So I am super persuadable, and I've been on Rapture Talk for like the past, I don't know, hour. I have a couple things. First of all, are we not scared? Come on.
Now, of course, I am not a psychologist. I have never really trained in psychology. I know a little bit from when I used to study it in college when I did like true crime, but like, I know nothing. I am in no way going to give out a diagnosis or anything. I'm just a girl on the internet that likes to yap, okay? Making that clear. Because this is a genuine question. Where's the line from believer to like psychosis? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the line? Because those true Christians, the American ones that are like, yeah, they have a chance to prove how they're better than everyone else, which is very arrogant and very un-Christian-like.
If you're seeing this after September 24th and you're wondering, where did all the people go? Why are all of these people not alive anymore? And what is to come of me? I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you were naughty. You were naughty. You weren't good. You did lots of naughty things, and you are going to stay here with the rest of the naughty naughties. So get your naughty on and get into the streets and be naughty with the naughty.
You know, these people were adamant, guys, I'm going to go with the Rapture. It's okay though. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, but I'll miss you all. How arrogant do you have to be? Isn't that like so anti-Christian? Doesn't that go against everything that you believe as a Christian, right? I don't know, unless I've got the whole of Christianity wrong. Because these people took it upon themselves to spread this message, which again, isn't that following a false prophet if it's not come from Jesus himself, right? I don't know.
And that's what you people don't understand. There will be no 25th. I don't know, it's not clocking to you guys that I'm standing on business and I'm trying to help you. There's not going to be a 25th. Today is the day of the rapture, as prophesied by the South African pastor. And you people are in my comments, joking and laughing. Just know that I am not going to feel sorry for the ones of you, the lot of you who are going to be left here. I'm not going to feel sorry for you.
Because they were spreading this message far and wide to non-believers and vulnerable children and adults. Need to make that part clear as well. To make them absolutely shit the pants. Oh, you're not a true Christian? Good luck being left while the world goes to shit. I'm going to be partying in heaven with Jesus. What's that? You don't believe in God? Good luck on earth. I'm going to be in heaven. Yeah. Dead Christian of you that. But why did people believe it? Well, of course, lots of things have happened this year. The fact that Donald Trump is just causing absolute chaos. The fact that there's been many shootings and the government doing what it's doing, it's just not great with the Gaza situation, the Russia situation, everything. It's all horrendous, it's awful, and it does truly make you believe, like, has God abandoned us? Have we truly been abandoned? Because what the fuck is going on? And I think that was a reason for people to be like, it's ending. I wish it did, actually. But in general, it's been, you know, a relatively tough year for so many people losing jobs, you know, having family and friends be deported, especially in the UK with how the situation is with immigrants and all that. It's awful. It's truly, truly horrific. So people thought, that's it. It's coming to an end. And when I say people were taking this seriously, I mean they were taking it very seriously. People went as far as to sell their cars, their electronics, their belongings. People were breaking things such as laptops, thinking that they wouldn't need them anymore, which is crazy. Why would you break it? Just sell it. People were even quitting their jobs or taking eternity leave because they fully believed that they were a good enough Christian to be raptured, that they sacrificed their job on planet Earth because they were that deluded to believe that they were going to fly up to the sky. Is that not a little bit crazy? Is that not a little bit mad? And this is a serious question. Are you alright? Like, even if you did believe in the rapture, you'd at least keep your belongings just in case, right? People were like even fretting over whether or not their dog was going to get into heaven with them. With one woman advising her followers to do away with their phone's password protection so their family members that get left behind can access their phones and look at pictures and do whatever they want to do and access their personal information.
Don't forget to unlock your phone. If you are a pre-tribber like myself and you truly believe that Jesus is going to come and rapture his church here possibly within the next week, if not any day now, don't forget to unlock your phone, because I know a lot of people are writing letters or maybe even just doing things on their phone, like in the notes and whatever. Unlock your phone. Like, I couldn't do that because I have bills to pay. I still need that information. So I just wrote my code on a piece of paper with a little message, and I took a picture of it and I made that the screensaver on my phone.
Like, That's a level of delusion, right? Can we at least agree on that? Another bought Bibles in bulk at a Dollar Tree where she planned to leave behind with personalisation notes in hopes of saving some last-minute converts. I understand that, you know, Jesus said to spread the message, but I don't think this is what he meant. I think he probably meant it by loving your neighbour, which none of these Christians that believe they were going to heaven can probably do. They're probably completely incapable of that. And that's probably why the world is in the situation that it's in right now. But what do I know? People were even going as far as to say, leave your homes unlocked so that the people that were left behind could take things like food, water, and shelter. And you can just tell that this is like, yeah, I'm being raptured, guys, because I'm amazing. And because I'm so amazing, I'm going to leave you my stinky little house just so you guys can fend for yourselves a little bit easier while I'm up in the sky. Just saying. Fuck off. Some people even stopped planning for their future altogether, like not going to school, cancelling trips, or just long-term commitments because their timeline might be cut short. And of course, you had the people that were so majorly offended by the people that were mocking it or perhaps just laughing about the situation, which a lot of people do when this kind of thing happens, which I get and I also don't get because a lot of people cope with humour. No, actually, I do get it. I completely get it. I don't know why I'm saying I don't get it. Either you cope with humour or you're just dogging on the situation because you think it's stupid, both of which are valid. So what about those people that were mocking it? Well, there are lots of satire/joke posts that were actually pretty hard to tell if they were a joke or not. Like this one, for example. And I was like, surely not. Like, surely not. So I went to the comments and I was correct. I found like the top comment from the creator and it was like, PSA, this was a fire drill. The TikTok thing is a joke. I just thought it was funny. My school is not stupid and they wouldn't actually do that. But people are just dogging on it and people are like having a hard time working out if this is real or not because of the amount of people that were taking it so seriously. And it's America. Do I need to elaborate on that? So people are just absolutely clowning on these people. I'm laughing because it's so crazy. I'm not laughing at people that might genuinely be experiencing religious psychosis because of this. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. But like, what a year. What a year it's been. And of course you had the people saying that when Jesus would come down, of course it wouldn't be a white man. Jesus is, you know, not white. The MAGA Americans that believe in it would probably just murder him or deport him or, you know, send him to wherever it is they get sent to, which is just probably the truth. See, this is another thing I don't get. How can you claim to be Christian but hate everyone that's not a white, straight person? Others were absolutely loving the finds of like thrift shops or just on their neighbour's front porch, like this video here.
It's Rapture Day and I am so excited. Look at all these goodies our neighbors are throwing out. You'll never guess we found a 1969 Sputnik floor lamp that's worth just over $2,000. She needs a little bit of work, well, look at her.
Like, people were going as far as to get rid of all of their possessions because they truly believed that they were going to heaven. And I've said it, but like, what? And people that obviously didn't believe the rapture was coming were just snapping that up straight away because why wouldn't you? Who's going to miss out on that? Are you joking? You also had people playing rapture trumpet noises at full volumes on the day of the rapture in their neighbourhoods just to absolutely dog on the neighbours that believed in it.
Guys, the rapture's here.
Which is actually pretty funny. Now, I have no idea why it's mostly Americans that believed in the rapture. I mean, Christianity in the UK isn't as big anymore, but I feel like if you do come across someone that is religious in the UK, they're not as full on. They're very like, I don't know, laid back about it, I guess. Like, I've yet to meet a crazy religious person in the UK, genuinely. Most of them are alright, but in America, it's a whole different ball game. I mean, if you ask an average British person the last time they went to church, they probably wouldn't be able to tell you. Whereas in America, it's like a big family day out thing. Do you know what I mean? That's not really heard of here unless you are religious. I just don't think people in the UK follow the Bible as closely as people do in America because Americans are just nuts with it. And, you know, they terrify me. Whereas in the UK, people are just like, yeah, whatever. But then you also have the ones that are using, you know, especially in the UK situation at the minute, using religion as a way to sort of shit on other religions. Like, all of a sudden everyone's claiming that they're Christians because Muslims are coming to the UK, which, that's a lie. They're not religious. They would not be able to tell you the last time that they said a prayer. Now, despite all of this, September 23rd, 24th rolls around, and here we are. As I'm filming this part of the video, the rain outside my window is just amplified. I don't know if you can hear that. Storm Amy's having a bad day, guys. So yeah, the rapture didn't happen. Or it did, and Jesus decided to stay the away from us because we all suck. Either answer I'm alright with. However, some Christians are very adamant that it is still going to happen. And that is where I'm not sure if the line of psychosis should be drawn here.
The rapture is back on, and you might think that the pastor who gave the original prophecy that it was going to be on September 23rd was wrong, but you would be wrong, because he was actually right all along. And I know what you're thinking. How could that be? You did not see any bodies flying towards the sky on September 23rd? Well, it is because we were using the wrong calendar. Jesus doesn't know that we changed our calendar, and we should have been using the Julian calendar, because that is the calendar that they used back in the day. So it is now rescheduled to October 6th to 7th.
The only thing I can relate this to is a couple of weeks ago I went to go and see Pierce the Veil in Manchester, right? And everyone was convinced for some reason that Kellen Quinn would be there. He was going to show up, come out on stage and perform King for a Day with Vic Fuentes. And lo and behold, he didn't show up. As you can imagine, I myself and lots of other fans were absolutely devastated. But that would be like standing there after the crowd has gone and be like, no guys, the show's not over. He's gonna come out, I swear. It's giving the same energy. Obviously not on an extreme scale, but I just wanted to crack out the fact that I'm still bitter that Kellen Quinn didn't show up, to be honest. But that's the vibe, right? But people are still pushing the story that Jesus is coming back and giving other dates, in particular the 6th and 7th of October. And the reason for this is because Jesus doesn't know that we've changed the calendar, guys. The all-knowing Jesus Christ doesn't know how we live on earth, and he doesn't know that we've changed the calendar. So actually, he's coming on the 6th and 7th of November. Is Jesus going to come on those dates? He's not. So actually, guys, we're all still better than y'all. But trust me, guys, he's still coming, right? We've laughed and we've joked and we've had fun, but you know what? This whole debacle is actually dangerous. Besides the fact that many of the believers just look ridiculously stupid now.
So it is officially September 25th, and I am heartbroken, and it's probably not the reason you think I'll be. I contemplating making this video. I contemplating deleting my profile, because it's just like, I don't know how to explain the feeling, but I'll explain it the best I can. I went into work this morning. I tried to beg for my job back, and thank God they weren't too upset. They understood why I did what I did, and I'm gonna explain what happened to me in the days of the rapture, because
many of them actually have ruined their lives because of this stupid little belief that people had. The illusion that you have to fully believe that this was going to happen, to the point where you skipped exams, quit your job, neglected basic obligations, is absolutely crazy. And maybe these people, you know, are definitely going to experience real world consequences because of this, and you're stuck here for another 50 years, so good luck with that. But many people explained that they felt abandoned by God. And you know what? If people were genuinely excited about this happening and, you know, genuinely felt crushed when you didn't die and get taken to heaven, then the only thing I can say is you need genuine help. And this is coming from a place of like, I care. You need help. This is not normal. This is not a nice way to think. You are worth more than that, and you deserve to be on this planet. As shit as it is at the moment, you still deserve to be here and have a family and people that care for you. And if, you know, you were sad that you didn't get raptured, seek help or speak to a friend or something, because cognitive dissonance sets in as well, with some doubling down and others losing faith entirely. Both can be really destabilizing for people. And prophecies like this can be exploited by charismatic figures who claim to have inside knowledge, such as the pastor that started this. And in this case, it started with this random guy who claimed he had a vision. And it spread into a whole online debacle. And of course, the spread of it online absolutely did not help. In fact, it amplified it to places that the person that made the claim probably didn't realise it would go to those lengths. So you know who else does this? Or what else does this? Cults. Cult leaders do this. Cult leaders are described as charismatic, they know they have inside knowledge. Some religions are finely veiled cults. Young people and those with, unstable mental health conditions or those with strict religious upbringings are especially vulnerable to these claims. For them, this can trigger panic attacks or thoughts because you want to go to heaven, you want to escape this in case you don't get raptured. It's genuinely it's terrifying for these people, long-term religious trauma, something like this comes up, oh my god, I'm not a good enough Christian, I'm going to get left on earth, I'm going to be seen as this, lower being. It's horrendous. If I was a kid and I was seeing this unfold, I would be tweaking. But you know what? In the end, everything's okay. No one died, the rapture did not happen, and the rapture probably will not happen in our lifetime.
There is no rapture. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Make plans for next weekend. Enjoy life. Don't even give it a second thought. Why? Because it's fake. It's always been fake. It isn't in Scripture, not really. 1 Thessalonians 4:17 isn't about the elect getting sucked up in the end times into heaven. It's echoing Matthew 24:30, which is symbolic of the reunion with Christ. Darby and the dispensationalists created a story to scare people into conversion, and then people grabbed onto it for escapism. Instead of taking responsibility for real life, they created a trap door and an escape hatch. The insidious thing is that the theology is always about Christian elitism. I'm going to get raptured and you aren't. That's the implication. Whenever I hear this, I say, just stop it. People say lots of things about the Bible, especially the rapture, that aren't really there.
It's a common fact that everyone is going to die. We don't know when and we don't know how, but we will be worm food, and that's fine. That's okay. It shouldn't be feared, and we should be able to say that we had a bloody great time while we were on this planet as well. So plan that trip, get your master's degree, kiss that friend, make that stupid purchase, because none of this will matter. None of it will matter, and that's fine. The truth is, no one knows what will happen after we die. Whether we'll go to heaven, whether we'll be reincarnated, whether we'll just turn into nothing. Who knows? But we should not live our lives fearing something that genuinely might not happen. And in saying that, let's leave it on a positive note. That is unfortunately all the information I have for this video. If you enjoyed, please let me know, and if you have any video request ideas, please send me them over on Instagram, as I will be more likely to see them over there, and if you would like to follow me over there, that would also be gratefully appreciated. But if you would also consider subscribing, that would be amazing, but if not, that's also absolutely fine, because regardless, I hope to see you in the next video anyway. Stay safe.